Hey there, beautiful family of light. Well, yesterday I made a video about our inner guide, our inner tuition, our intuition, and I said that I will also speak in the next video something about, just say just a few words about how we recognize, how we discern between our true intuition, which is the voice of our inner spirit, and between the mind, which likes to play games with us sometimes, where we're still not aware of what is coming within our purity. So if you have seen any of my videos so far, you will know that I've often talked about purity. And this is still the main emphasis. And I'm a Virgo by my sun sign. And Virgos, I just read somewhere last year that Virgos are teachers of purity. And it's true. This is one of my most basic messages that I am, sharing within my journey. It is all about the purity, and purity is the key. And it is a lot more easier to open to our inner voice when we purify all of our bodies. When we purify mostly the mind, when our mind is not like this chatter, constant chatter in our heads. So the thing is that we are so much more able to hear that voice. Spirit is talking to everyone. We are all one. And the only illusion which all others then stem from is the illusion of separation, and we're all one in truth. In truth of one, there's only one love, one, the divine love that we all are, and all the universal laws that apply to that. And there has been many teachings about that also in the ancient knowledge. So the thing is, while we purify ourselves, while we start remembering through divine remembrance who we are, our inner spirit, not that it starts talking to us finally, but we finally are able to hear it loud and clear. It is much more easier. It is different for every single one because there's many different variations to how you get to talk to yourself with your inner self. And it's not so much important to analyze things. Some people would like to analyze, ooh, what is my higher self? What are angels? What are guides? Who is who? And put labels on everything. But it's not important. It is important to open up at first. And the main difference between real voice of intuition and the mind, which is sometimes rather in the state of, I don't like to use the word illusion so much, but it's like this imagination, something that we would like to hear sometimes, maybe, but it's not, the raw, pure truth. Because in essence, love is truth. It is one and the same. It is both, that build all the creation. So when we are divine love, we truly are. We are truth. And that is the truth of our being, of our essence, which is immortal and eternal. And while we open up to that, we really can feel the difference as to what is the mind and what is our intuition. So it is different, as I say, for each and every one of us. How do we get there? My journey doesn't have to be the same as your journey, and it's not. We're all living different journeys. So as often as there are teachers who like to say a lot about a certain method or a certain part that is, leading towards that goal of hearing your angels, your guides, and your own inner intuition and your higher self, your I am presence. But that's not just one way. And in that way, a certain teacher might limit you in the ways how to get there. There's limited amounts of ways because we are limitless. And everything in our reality and creation, that life we are living, is mirroring that, what we truly are in essence. So, to know your intuition is actually to know yourself. And while you know the self, you know all around you. So, as I said in my previous video, it's about vertical alignment that reflects everything outwardly in the horizontal alignment as well in all of your lives. And then while you hear that voice, which is a pure spirit whispering, then you really see that everything in your presence is actually sending you messages of spirit, because every single thing is a message. But how do you see that it's not coming from the mind and not the intuition? Well, let me say this to you. You will have to be the one to know. It's not whether I can give you proper guidance and tell you, yes, this is it, or no, this is not. It is up for you. And it starts with posing yourselves questions and then being really honest and open with yourself, because I'm always honest. For me, let me share my journey. My journey is my journey. It cannot be the same as yours, but this is how it is for me. Well, I was starting to awake when I was starting the awakening process. Everything was so natural and spontaneous because my being already held that vibration uh, of knowing, of that inner knowing. My main channel is inner knowingness, clear cognizance. I just know that I know. And then everything in my reality is being mirrored back at me through synchronicities, through instant confirmations, everything is such. And it's my inner knowing that I feel as the state of bliss. And you know that you cannot describe bliss. The same way that you cannot describe your being. You cannot, if someone asks you a question, who are you? You cannot explain with words or giving sentences or applying certain attributes to it, such as associating with your job, family, relationships, the things you possess, and so on, because you can only feel yourself. So the road to truly trusting your intuition is knowing and feeling the self. And as I say, you know the self when you feel the self. You feel your vibration. You have to be the one who feels your vibration. And while you feel your vibration as spirit that is individual and unique, you will feel the spirit guidance flowing through you. You will know the difference between when you're more in the mind state, because we all are sometimes. The ego is our personality. It's not always bad how certain individuals describe it as only bad. But everything has a polar opposite here in this duality consciousness. It's either playing a role of positive or negative. This is how we attribute, you know, this is how we associate with things. And we can always see that there's balance between everything. So when we use that balanced state of using our mind is a very good tool to preserve your body as your physical vehicle, which you need. But your higher mind is that inner knowing, and feeling leads to that. And that is achieved through your intuition. And there's not just one way that a certain guru might be teaching a certain, disciples, students. We're actually all teachers and students at the same time. This is the same as the law of giving and receiving is also always connected. You cannot just give or just receive. It is one and the same at the same time. So this is how it is. When you start feeling yourself, you'll start feeling when your guidance is of spirit, because you will feel the feelings that you feel. Like, when you're connected, every one of you, even those that cannot maybe hold that vibration for a longer period of time, for a longer state, you know how it feels to be in that state of bliss, of total connectedness. And more than so often, you feel that in nature. This is how it is for me, especially in my mountains. They're my my love. So you know that feeling. And when the voice of intuition comes and whispers things to you, you know that feeling. It's that feeling of inner tranquility, of bliss, and that therefore it's coming from my intuition, and it's pure and it's neutral. It's not attached to a certain outcome, because our mind, sometimes our ego wants things. If you desire something, then for instance, you might be a bit attached to the outcome, and it's the same with shuffling the oracle cards or someone else giving you data, and then it depends how you interpret it. The guidance can be pure, but certain oracles or psychic mediums and so on, they still have that mind. And if they're not trained enough within neutrality of the divine universal love, then they might associate things in their own way from their own persona. And that's how they attribute it. And this is the same way you attribute things. For instance, when you draw oracle cards for yourself, when you're giving a reading to yourself or someone else, the first thought, the first feeling that is very neutral, before you start thinking about all the mind chatter and start telling me things, oh, but this is like this, oh, this can be interpreted like that, oh, you never know, might be this. That's already the mind telling you things. So start focusing on the first inner feeling. But how do you do that if you're still in that confusion state? First, you have to be willing and allowing yourself to have that space to really enjoy and embrace the now moment. Because if you don't, you'll be everywhere, all around the place. And if you're not evolved enough to that state, if you're not there yet on your journey, which is fine, we're all always where we need to be, but you won't be able to recognize that voice of spirit, because your mind will be everywhere except, within where it needs to be. So the first thing to feel yourself is to actually spend quality time with the self so you can better hear your intuition. You need that time with yourself. That's not being lonely. That's good, positive, nurturing solitude for your soul to come and speak to you. Everything needs time. For instance, if you have children, how you parent them, how you nurture them, you know that parenting takes time and devotion. It's the same thing. Your soul, our soul is our parent because our soul has all our attributes, has all of our personas, every roles that we have played, every incarnation we have lived. We do live because it's all happening at the same time, whether you can imagine it or not. So it knows, and it's your most devoted parent. Your I am presence is your parent, your eternal teacher. It's always there. And it's always speaking to you. It's just whether you hear it or not. So it's not so much to say, I have intuition and that person is not that intuitive, or I'm so intuitive and you're not. It's not about that. It's about how open you are as a channel. And that has to be done through purity, through devotion, through really spending time with yourself, that you can feel your passions through that essence that you are. We're each different. But if someone asks me who I am, I know because I feel myself. And this is something that no one can ever take away from you. They can take your job away, your partner can leave you, or you can leave them when the relationship is not, bearing those fruits anymore, and things like that. Children leave you when they grow up. We're not parents in a way that we own anyone. We can never own anything. We're caretakers, also for our planet. And this is the thing, you're your best friend. You're the only person that always stays with you. So if you don't understand yourself, so if you're not your best friend, your best intuitive guide and counselor, and if you don't connect to yourself, who will? If you don't appreciate yourself, you don't love yourself, who will? So it takes this first. And when this is done, when you bond with yourself, with your soul that is your caretaker, as you are also caretaker of it, and it's at the same thing at the same time, it's interlocked. So you need to build that relationship first. And then, as I described, you know it by how you feel. But this needs to be, it takes devotion for you to truly be open and honest with yourself. When is the mind playing games with you, and when it's truly soul guidance? When is your intuition truly speaking to you? How does your heart feel? We're all sometimes want certain outcomes, you know, and that way we get attached and our mind instantly says, this is my guidance. And then something doesn't happen and it's just not right. It's good because it's a hidden blessing. It's there to show you a lesson. But our intuition speaks differently. It is not attached. It promotes nothing or anyone. It propagates nothing. It's purely neutral and observant. It's pure divine love. And this is how it speaks to you. So you have to remember who you are and feel your essence as a divine love to hear the messages of that divine love that you are. It's the most basic universal law of resonance, of the same frequency. So that's why it takes purity, because in pure essence that we are, in our shiny diamond, we are pure, all of us, no matter how much, access energy and different manifestation of that, different densities we have gathered around that, or in our aura in this life. It doesn't matter. In our essence, we're all source beings in that law of one, that divine love space. So you have to remember and to feel your vibration first, and then start speaking to that. I don't speak so much about how you connect to your guides and angels, but I do have this great link to a video, and I will put it in my description box, because it's this beautiful lady who shares such amazing guidance. I always resonate with it. I love it. I love to follow her, even her weekly messages. And she just made a video about that and was awesome. And she did also this exercises to how you feel your angels and guides and how you communicate with them. And that's also good because we all have that amazing empowerment team with us. But our eternal teacher is our I am. So it's very important that we connect to it. And as I always say, sourcing means tuning into all that is, because there's no separation and we're always a part of all that is. So we can tune into anything within that. But we have to realign our frequency back into that state. We first need to shift into that awareness that we are one. Truly, not just say it, but feel it. And then everything from that oneness comes to us. It is there already, but we have to, shift back to that state, from this state of density. And then we will hear and we will know. What I see oftentimes happening in the outer world is a lot of people who are more focused on what they were in past lives, like very much in the illusion of, oh, I was this great being, oh, I finally remember now, oh, blah, 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 all is good. I'm so happy, I'm this. And I see this happening around me. And I just say that this is most often the mind speaking to us, because a being that is truly within their intuition will hear only neutral guidance that is within now. Intuition only gives us guidance within now. What is here for us now? If you want to do, even with the oracle reading, a reading in advance, you know that you are shifting and your consciousness is shifting. So you're co creating that reality for you. There is no just one outline as to how something will happen. Your intuition will always speak for the now, from the now, and for the now. So oftentimes certain individuals that are more focused on what they were, they don't get it. They're not living here. Either it's about whether they have not embraced this life that they live and the mission that they are to embark upon, whether they want validation and confirmation as to what great being they were or whatever. I see many things going on now. I see it on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere. There's a lot of people who are going with it, and I'm so happy for all those of you who are, because you see the results, you see the tangible things that are unfolding in your reality once you shift energetically and you start remembering yourself as divine love. But there's also a lot of chaos and disinformation, and I also found this interesting video today about false prophets and the certain internet pages that promote certain channelings that are not true. And they're, how do you come into that discernment? Because your intuition is also an exercise of discernment. Your intuition is forever discerning, because you're a sovereign being. You're a free sovereign being, and your intuition is that being. It comes from your being. So how could it not be anything as such? And I won't mention any names because I don't do things like that. I speak through a very neutral way. I just generalize about things. But I will share my share this video because it's so funny, and it's interesting to me to see, for me, how many people are trying to speak this truth out there, trying to get those things publicly. Try to show them to people what is going on, how certain people are really having certain agendas behind what they say and what they do. And how do you become more discerning in this? What is authentic and what is just there for a certain reason that might teach you something and push your buttons? And really, there's a difference between empowering you or taking your power away, but only you can give your power away. So when you learn to feel the self, evolve your intuition, you will know. You will just feel things as strange, as weird. You will recognize things by how they are presented, how they're being presented. You will feel and sense the vibration. And that's why it's important for you to open to your own intuition, because I cannot tell you who to follow, which channel is good, what's pure, what's non-authentic, what's not pure, what's coming from a certain falsehood. I cannot, and I don't want to, because everyone needs to learn for themselves. Even I have those lessons sometimes of being too much open. But I do have a very great discerning ability, and I always find when there's something spooky there, it really stinks. And then I never push it away. I say, okay, it's there for a reason, but I'll be careful. So I was laughing a lot today when I saw that video on my YouTube page when I subscribed. So I will share that with you also. And why is this so important? It's not about that. It's not about those groups of people or whatever. It's about you. That is here in a reality for us to remember, to tune into our discernment, to tune into our intuition. And the intuition won't be fanatic, like, oh yeah, I was Cleopatra, like Cleopatra in my past life. Oh, I was this. It won't be like fanatic. It'll be here now. It'll be guiding you each and every step of the way. And this is your essence. This is how it is. And you will know it. You will feel it. You'll start opening to it more and more every single now moment that you connect to it. So these are the videos that I'm also going to share. And I invite each and every one of you to truly go out in nature. This is our best gift, because the gift of intuition, of connecting to it, is the best gift that we can give to ourselves. And we are that gift. We are the blessing. And let us not forget that all those that are in our reality that claim to be a certain special individual or chosen one or whatever, please let us question everything. This is the basic rule of truth. Question everything, even this. Everything. Feel it through love, but you don't have to be attached in order to love it. Embrace it, observe it, know that it's there for a reason, and know that it's also there for a reason to guide you more within. Every single thing is for humanity to finally awaken to their true divine potential, which is limitless, eternal, immortal, with all the divine capabilities, with all the powers. We have that power within, but we have to connect and we have to remember. You have to remember no one else will do it for you. So keep connecting. Have a wonderful, blessed weekend, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Okay? Bye bye. Much love.